let's go. Yeah.
Good thing, yeah, I found that. Young king with my crown at. 10 racks in the fanny pack. Couple hundred in the Louis bag. Couple hundred need a G-Wagons. Big tax on my big spending. Big facts, no pretending. We back on the full sense. That good thing, yeah, I found that. Young king with my crown at. 10 racks in the fanny pack. Couple hundred in the Louis bag. Couple hundred need a G-Wagons. Big tax on my big spending. Big facts, no pretending. We back on the full sense.
Crazy flow, need a straight jacket. Cash flow, I'm a bank addict. 6 subs, had the bass smacking. 808s, had the place clapping. 3 girls is enough for me, so I pull out like the stocks crashing. Like an IPO, trying to purchase me. This a private sector, so you can't have it. Faking all that boom bapping. Who you think you is, boy? 90s want they sound back, so I give rap all these fake rappers as I take matters in my own hands. I don't need rapping, I don't need Zans. I don't need help, I'm a grown man. Now they king left and they so mad, it's like
Then yeah, I found that. Young king with my crown at. 10 racks in the fanny pack. Couple hundred in the Louis bag. Couple hundred need a G-Wagons. Big tax on my big spending. Big facts, no pretending. We back on the full sense. That good thing, yeah, I found that. Young king with my crown at. 10 racks in the fanny pack. Couple hundred in the Louis bag. Couple hundred need a G-Wagons. Big tax on my big spending. Big facts, no pretending. We back on the full sense.
yeah, hey, look what I got. New whip with no top. Cooking up no stove top. Ice cold, no snow drop. Big budget ass, big facts. Big money in the contract. Been running no contact. New record with the new tracks. Yeah, they been sending me new plaques. I don't really need new plaques. Nah, big rock with the suplex. Yeah, new rock got a new flex. Yeah, I'm current, I'm a new trend. Now boys with the full scent. Yeah, like I said, no new friends. We don't really need new friends.
Good thing, yeah, I found that. Young king with my crown at. 10 racks in the fanny pack. Couple hundred in the Louis bag. Couple hundred need a G-Wagons. Big tax on my big spending. Big facts, no pretending. We back on the full sense. That good thing, yeah, I found that. Young king with my crown at. 10 racks in the fanny pack. Couple hundred in the Louis bag. Couple hundred need a G-Wagons. Big tax on my big spending. Big facts, no pretending. We back on the full sense.
This is that one song that you heard so many times, and every time you hear it, you're like, I'm not gonna bump to this song. But then you start catching a vibe. I'm sorry, not sorry.
Yeah.
East Coast with the gang gang, West Coast with the gang gang, Lower with the gang gang, you know we don't play gang. East Coast with the gang gang, West Coast with the gang gang, Lower with the gang gang, you know we don't play gang. East Coast with the gang gang, West Coast with the gang gang, Lower with the gang gang, you know we don't play gang. East Coast with the gang gang, West Coast with the gang gang, Lower with the gang gang, you know.
Yeah, whoa, East Coast with that gang gang. You know we don't play games, whoa. Hop up on that wagon, oh please just get out the way. You know we stay stuntin', right up in your face. We sorry, not sorry, we just stuck up in our ways. West Coast gon' ahead stand up, put that glass and hands up. Gang, we famed up, got that change, we bagged up. Crew love, we stay manned up. Ahem like I'm wheezy, yeah. Rap game just too easy, drip so sick I'm queasy, whoa.
East Coast with the gang gang, West Coast with the gang gang, Lower with the gang gang, you know we don't play gang. East Coast with the gang gang, West Coast with the gang gang, Lower with the gang gang, you know we don't play gang. East Coast with the gang gang, West Coast with the gang gang, Lower with the gang gang, you know we don't play gang. East Coast with the gang gang, West Coast with the gang gang, Lower with the gang gang.
Yeah. Watch me finesse, walk to the line. Good versus evil, God in his prime. Always in prime, always on time. Our time to shine, wifey is fine. I'm doing fine, glad that you asked. God fill me up, mud in my glass. God clean me up, all that I ask. Wherever you headed there fast. I am ahead, you are in last. Last time I checked, you were all gas. Gas in the whip it up fast. Fast and all furious, I'm starting to spaz. Getting all curious, you put me on blast. Blasting that Darius, kids in the back. Back to the future is black. Black like T'Challa, Wakanda attack.
East Coast with the gang gang, West Coast with the gang gang, Lower with the gang gang, you know we don't play gang. East Coast with the gang gang, West Coast with the gang gang, Lower with the gang gang, you know we
Obesity is epidemic in the United States and a major cause of death.
What is fat activism?
I, a fat person, am sharing my own lived experience.
Pizza is a vegetable.
Your fat phobia is your problem.
It is not my place as a smaller-bodied white man to comment on it.
Radical body positivity.
What can men do against such reckless hate?
There's only one man who can help me.
This is for you new people. I only have one rule. Everyone fights, no one quits.
This day we fight!
Swole Normuth.
The sun is shining, the birds are chirping, the bacon is sizzling. Welcome to the Daily Swole.
Testing, 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 testicles. Welcome everyone to episode 3252 of the Daily Mother Swole, the most muscular swolecast, beercast, broadcast, gamecast, mancast, pimpcast, sleevescast, and slaycast in Zahrelm, because when I flex, you flex, we all flex our biceps. What's going on, beeshes, booshes, busses, hustles, and yahos? It's your boy Papa Swolio back with another episode. In today's episode, the Beastcast is brought to you, is powered, is sponsored by Everson K2, flexing on all you bees. All right, fam, welcome to the show, 3252. Hit the like button, subscribe, drop a comment down below. What are you smashing today? And of course, to get access to all the brand new drops that released yesterday, this is one of the most recent designs. I'm rocking the the Jurassic Pump today. And of course, we had new drops yesterday, Swole White and the 7 Steaks. All that is available over there at papaswolio.com. And of course, if you want to join the fam and get access to all of our programs, yoga, meditation, masterclasses, everything that we have inside the Swolenormous app, make sure you head on over to swolenormousx.com and join the Swole fam today. Now let's get on into that tip. Pua. Babe, just an inch. It's cold outside. All right, we're going to get into the first one from Will. This is in the Swolenormous app. Will says, okay, fam, I think it's that time. Yep, it's definitely time for me to jump into maximum swole. Although I'd obviously like to see some sick gains from this, I'm more interested to see if I can actually flip the switch in my brain to push to that limit. Let's see what happens. Keep doing what you do, fam. Well, if you want to make sick gains, you need to progressively overload, you need to lift heavy weights, and Maximum Swole is the program for you. So good luck with that, Will. We got some more responses to the accountability text this week. What is your standard flow to start your day? Give me details. So let's get into some more responses from the Swole fam. How does the Swole fam start their day? Danny says, I wake up at 4 a.m. for work, mix creatine electrolytes first thing, and then have some coffee and start to get my food ready for the day. Like to hear it. Solid, simple, early, gets the job done. Rihanna says, I wake up, go to the bathroom, wash my face, brush my teeth, and go outside with the dog. After we come back in, I start the kettle for making pour-over coffee and make some iced coffee for Mr. Rihanna and then for myself as well. From there, I may deviate some depending on if I work or not or if I have any plans. Good stuff. You can also have a set schedule, and I always recommend that people have blocks to their schedule so you can pivot. It doesn't always have to be the same thing, because if you have maybe on a day where you're not working, there might be 4, 5, 6, or 7 other things you like to do in a row. But if your schedule changes, you don't want to be, oh my God, I didn't get my stuff in. I can't, everything falls apart. You could have different little mini blocks and then rearrange them depending on what your schedule is for that morning. You might have the same standard 2, 3, or 4 things that you do first thing. And then depending on what you have to do after, maybe you pivot other things around it and you have a couple little options for your morning routine. Response to how to build discipline. If you're not on the email list, go to makeemailswoleagain.com. Brad says, this was really good. I keep going to the gym at age 60, even when I'm not feeling it. Good for you. Wow. Even if it is not an all-in 100% kind of workout, this email really spoke to me. Thanks. You're welcome, Brad. Thanks for sharing. 60 years old, still making gains. I will be there soon. I'll be making sick fucking gains right there with you, Brad. Tara, responding to the same email. Tara says, I've been really good with my workouts this week, 6 days in a row. My problem is I worked nights for years, and now I'm having a hard time with being consistent with fasting periods. My eating schedule and sleep schedule are a mess, and I feel like my metabolism is so slow now. This is a new thing for me. Super common when you jack up your circadian rhythm for a long time. So without having any more details or specifics, make sure that you reset your sleep schedule, getting up really early, getting up at the sunrise, making sure you have good evening habits, and really hammering that down to reset it. I'm not sure where you're coming from or how long you've been doing this, but you need to be as consistent as possible to bring yourself back into order. But it does take time. If you have a schedule like that for a while, it can take quite some time. So any other advice or personal thoughts, you could drop in the comments down below. Let's get into some questions. We're going to load up TikTok Live to get some more live questions. Drop in the comments down below. Hashtag Ask Papa Swole. Thanks for being here. Let's get into some questions. Let's see. 5 S's and then SKD. SSSSSSSSKD. Papa Swole, what type of training should a beginner do? I don't know what to start with. If you're a beginner and you don't know where to start, this is why I created Swolenormous X. So join us over at swolenormousx.com. I would recommend starting with the 90-day dash program. So if you need something to get started, that's why the Swolenormous app exists. That's why all of our programs exist. That's why we have everything you need in one spot. That's what a beginner should do. I designed it for all levels of training, but if you don't know where to start, start there. Simple, start there. You need to get on a quality program. Remember, there's a difference between exercise and working out and training. Training is actually doing things with intent. It's based on literally a specific outcome. So you need to get on a quality training program. A lot of people are going to the gym and just exercising and doing things to feel tired. And then guess what? They feel tired, they feel exhausted, but then they get frustrated because they're not seeing the results they want, but they're not actually training for any specific results. They're just doing things to fatigue themselves. All right, if I didn't show this earlier, we got a great Swole card. It's hashtag Get Swole. Drop that in the comments down below. Hashtag Get Swole for a chance to win today's Swole card on Rumble. Drop that in the comments. Hashtag Get Swole. Thanks, everyone, for being here. Again, you can subscribe on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Please leave a 5-star review. We're pretty much live every single day. If we're not doing the current live stream, we have Swolosophy and audio episodes. You can go and catch them over on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And make sure that you leave a 5-star review, share it with your friends. And of course, live streams are on Rumble and YouTube at The Daily Swole. So make sure you follow us in all those places. First question, or another question from Instagram stories. Young Aokiman. Papa Swole, how to increase bench press? We got this question recently as well. Increasing bench press is great. Any kind of pressing movement, obviously you're trying to build your chest. That's your primary focus. So make sure you have proper form. Don't flare your elbows too much. There's many different ways to increase your bench press, but number one is going to be quality of your form. And once you standardize your form and it's optimal for the pressing movement, you're going to be able to progress. Now, of course, depending on how you're training, your nutrition, your sleep, your overall programming, you want to make sure you're providing a stimulus, but not over fatiguing and doing too much junk volume. So the form is paramount. And then, of course, micro loading and giving yourself the patience and the grace in order to actually make those improvements. And remember, the common trope is that more is better, but that's not the case when you're trying to increase strength. You want to make sure that you're recovering enough between workouts. So make sure you're not doing too much volume. Alex on YouTube, do you have any tips on getting started with jump rope besides consistency? Nope. Just start small. Anytime you're doing, you could do skipping. Skipping is a great way to train the calves and the Achilles tendon. Just build it up slowly. Remember, it's hopping and bouncing. And if you haven't done that in a bit, it's great for lymphatic drainage. It's good for your calves. It's good for sprinting and things like that adjacent to it for the stretch shortening cycle with the Achilles tendon and such. So just do a little bit. Don't overdo it. Focus on the skill and the quality, not the quantity, and then go from there. Don't overdo it. People get into it and they just go really hard and they're sore and they're pushing it and then they hurt their calves because they're doing heavy calf raises and things like that in addition to it. Okay, let's see. Dost thou even hoist? Ah, I do hoist. Thank you for the proposition. Appreciate you. Pam on Rumble. Great question. Papa Swole, if you have pants on, can you show the shirt? I really like the green. Thanks. I can, and I'm actually wearing shorts. So I know a lot of you.
Because
Jurassic Pump. There you go. And there you have it. 20% off everything over at papaswolio.com. Check it out. I am wearing. Pam wanted to know that the technical term is, am I hanging dong? And the answer is yes. And the answer is yes. I'm always hanging dong. Even if I'm wearing shorts, I'm hanging dong underneath. So thank you for the question, Pam. Plinge? Ethan Epling? I don't know. Papa Solio, what is the best way to gain muscle with body weight exercises? Do more reps. That's it. Doing more repetitions. This is why people are going to build only so much muscle with body weight exercise. At some point, you need to increase the resistance and add plates, add a weight vest, and things like that. The Sandmen, 1993. Papa Swolio, can you recommend some good chest exercises? What's with the chest today? All right. Can I recommend some? Sure. Bench press, converging chest press, Smith machine, incline Smith machine, pec fly, cable flies, cable press. There's a lot of great exercises for the chest. So the problem is your programming and the intent behind your programming or lack thereof, and making sure that you're progressively overloading, and you'll build muscles in your pectorals. Andrew Melty, what fats are good fats? Saturated fats and monounsaturated fats. But you want to make sure you're only cooking with things like raw butter, tallow, and ghee. You could cook with coconut oil. I personally don't. Some people like to. I would avoid olive oil or avocado oil for any kind of cooking because they'll burn and they'll go rancid. So make sure that you're using beef tallow for cooking. That'll change the game for you. Beef tallow, raw butter, ghee, good options for cooking. Jeff Weebush. Papa Swolio, any advice for joint health and recovery? I've been plagued lately with shoulder pain. So first off, when it comes to an injury, you want to address what the cause of the injury is. So usually an injury or shoulder pain is going to be some sort of friction or inflammation. You need to make sure you're balancing out the muscles and the strength around the shoulder joint. A lot of times it's going to be scapular depression. It's going to be posterior deltoid external rotation that's going to help balance out the shoulder joint. So first off, you got to isolate that. And then in general, for your joints, bone broth, quality food, high protein, collagen, getting a grass-fed finished collagen protein is beneficial, but you can get that with bone broth if you're mixing in tendons and ligaments and connective tissue. All those things are good options. Bostock on TikTok. What do you like, or what do you do on rest days, like walking or cardio? If so, how intense? If I'm not doing heavy, intense weight training, I'm not doing intense work. So I'm not doing intense cardio. I'll go for a walk. I'll do sauna. I'll do cold plunge. I'll do some mobility, some yoga, some club swinging. Not saying I'm doing all those things, but on days when I'm not doing intense training, I am not doing intense training. So that means not doing intense cardio, because that's going to add to my fatigue and that's going to negatively affect my ability to recover, to train again. So whether I'm doing 2 on and 1 off, or 2 on and 2 off, or every other day, if I'm training intensely, I would keep any kind of intense training to those days, including maybe some intense cardio or high intensity interval after a weight training session, which I actually generally don't do, but I would keep it on those days. Just keep in mind that your stimulus and your recovery and your fatigue, cardiovascular training or high intensity, is going to add to the fatigue. So depending on what your goal is, make sure it doesn't sacrifice what you're trying to recover from. So if your goal is to build muscle, make sure that whatever cardiovascular training you're doing is not zapping your recovery and not negatively affecting your ability to build muscle and progressively overload. All right, Mark Ludena. Again, if you're on Rumble or YouTube, drop your questions in the comments down below. Hashtag #AskPapaSwolio. Mark Ludena, Papa Swolio. Where should I start when it comes to dieting and working out consistently? You ask a poignant question. So I will recommend, and I really highly recommend this, head on over to swolenormousx.com, join the fam today, and download the Swolenormous app. I'll bring it up on the screen. It's available in the App Store and Google Play. And the reason why, we don't do any sponsorships. If I ever do some sort of partnership or collaboration, it's because I really believe in the product. But the reason why I don't do any ads, I've never done any kind of promotional stuff, is because that's just my take. I want you guys to know that whenever I'm promoting something or I'm talking about something, it's authentic and it's real. But I will always talk about the products that we create because I do them with the intent on helping you navigate those pitfalls and avoiding those plateaus and those setbacks. So SwoleNormousX.com is designed for that. So if you download the Swolenormous app, you join the fam, you get all your programs. And I'm on TikTok, so I'm not going to bring it up on the screen right now, the actual app. But you literally have everything that you could possibly need in the app. You could journal in the calendar feature. You could schedule classes. You can comment below, ask questions in the community section, talk to other members. Of course, when you're a member, you get access to the Telegram chat and the Facebook group in addition to the community section on the app. You could search and find anything that you need for any body part, whether it's a workout, a yoga class, a master class. We have education. We have everything there. You could do the elimination diet. It'll help you customize your nutrition. So that question specifically was about, where do I start with nutrition in my training? And that's why the elimination diet is very important. Helps you as an individual reset your nutrition and focus on what foods work best for you. So I'm going to sit here all day and talk about what I like to do, what I recommend. And of course, most of you that listen, we're all humans. Most of you will find benefits by adding or eliminating things that I recommend. But on an individual level, your preferences, you might find certain things work better for you than others, and that's totally fine. So the elimination diet teaches you how to test these things yourself. That way you can optimize your life. It doesn't have to be exactly modeled off what I do. But of course, the 7 pillars, community, nutrition, training, recovery, mobility, mindfulness, and consistency, everyone can benefit from that, but each person's life is going to look a little different. Jen says, been trying to get my brother on an elimination diet for the longest time. He's got all these health issues lately, and he's only 36. I'm not giving up. I'm sorry to hear that. Has he gotten gene therapy by chance? You guys are out in California, right? So it's likely. We know there's a lot of negative health outcomes from the jabs. All right, Dennis Deschant, 11. Papa Swolio, what vegetables do you eat, if any? So vegetables, plant foods, right? Fruit is plant food. So if we're talking about veggies specifically, I guess the other day when Mama Swolio, sometimes she'll make some mushrooms and onions as a side or a garnish. So I'll eat that. She made some avocado dip, and she actually chopped up some, we get really fresh fruit and stuff like that from local farmers markets. So she had some avocado with some tomatoes and onions or whatever she mixed into it, and it was delicious. So I usually have these things in smaller quantities, and my stomach really feels great with it. I don't really have sweet potatoes that much anymore. Sometimes some white rice, but I really allow all my carbs to come from dairy and fruit, honey, dates, orange juice, like fruit juice. So I really do mostly meat, eggs, raw dairy, and fruit. But sometimes I'll have maybe some veggies now and again, but I don't have like a plate of veggies. I don't have broccoli or kale or spinach or anything like that. I don't like those things at all. But again, when you eliminate a lot of these things, you're going to notice how much less impactful, I shouldn't say impactful. When you eliminate a lot of these foods, you're going to notice and recognize how little benefit they add to you. Once you get rid of them, you're going to notice more positives from not consuming them. But this is really only if you're eating nutrient-dense food. So I'm eating beef liver, a lot of steak and eggs. I'm getting in my organ meats. I'm getting in my proteins. I'm getting in my fats. I'm getting tons of sunlight. I feel great. So this is what works best for me. And that's just because I've tested them. Not only have I eliminated some of these foods, I've tested them again. I've brought them back in, but I also have the nutrients that I need. So I'm thriving off these things. Why do I need to add those other things when I feel great by not eating them? So I've tested this myself. If you haven't tested it, you don't know. A lot of people just never stop eating some of these things and wonder why they feel like shit, but I have to eat those. Well, you don't. You actually don't. Bow tie, I just ate a bag of chips. Well, you're primary care physician is very happy about that. More questions. Papa Swolio, can you talk about creatine? I like creatine. I take creatine every day. I take 5 to 10 grams a day. TLH stuff, Papa Swolio, how lean can you get doing recomping with a light deficit before you really need to do a strict cut? Worrying too much about cutting. I'm doubtful that you have enough muscle mass to even worry about cutting. Most people are worried about cutting when they don't have enough muscle mass to even cut to. So focus on building muscle, and I wouldn't worry too much about recomping. Make sure that you're building muscle, that you're increasing your weight, reps or both, and that your weight is around maintaining or slightly decreasing. So maybe, if anything, maintenance or a slight deficit, focusing on protein and fats, playing around with the carbs to see what works best, but build muscle, build muscle. A lot of people are trying to cut, and there's nothing to cut to. Moonstone says, Papa Swolio, I've been carnivore for 5 months now. I've lost 20 kilograms and feel amazing. Good for you. Gorditz 183. What's a good workout to start with if I haven't worked out in 10 years? Get on a quality strength training program. Join us over at SwoleNormousX.com. Start one of our programs. Less than $1 a day. You can join the Swole fam and access all of our content unlimited. Mark, Papa Swolio, when doing good questions, keep on dropping them. I know sometimes people have to marinate, and sometimes once you hear a few other questions, then something pops into your head. So, Papa Swolio, when doing hack squat, is it normal to do ass to grass squats? The one at my gym has a pin in it, so I can determine where it stops. Is it optimal? So there's different ways to do hack squats. I do them with the Tom Platz method. I have my feet close to the bottom, not all the way at the bottom, but close to the bottom in a V. So I stay on the outside of my feet. I let my heels come up. I let my knees go wide. That has been the most consistent way that I've done hack squats, where I don't feel any knee problems or any issues. Sometimes if I bring my feet higher up and I try to go really deep, it's bothered me in the past. So I just kind of settle on, ooh, I like this form. This has been consistent for me over the years. I've never had issues, so I'm sticking with it for now. But in terms of ass to grass, the benefits or the reason why you would go down, it's not getting your quads more. First off, you want to get your knees over your toes. That's going to lengthen the quads. When you're doing a hack squat, you're getting more of the vastus intermedius, the medialis, and the lateralis, because when you have two joints, like the hip flexing while the knee is flexing, you're not getting as much of the rectus femoris. So if you're trying to get the long muscle of the quad, you want to do a leg extension or a sissy squat to activate that more. And when you're doing a hack squat and you're going deep on a hack squat, you're getting more adductors at the bottom. You might be getting a little bit of glutes too, but it's really more adductors. So if you don't go as low, but your knees are going over your toes more, then you're going to get more quad focused. So is it optimal? It's a benefit. It's just going to hit muscles a little bit differently. But bottom line, you want that knee flexion in order to target the quad. So choose a form where you really feel your quads the best and your knees feel strong that you like, and then progressively overload that. So if you go deep in any kind of squat, especially a linear squat, you're going to get more of the posterior adductors. And you want your adductors big. If you want big thighs, you have to have adductors. And that's why deep squats are great, because you get that inner thigh on the posterior portion, you get that inner thigh meat. And if you don't have big adductors, your legs are going to look skinny. So a lot of times people think they need width on their quads when they really need adductor work. So a great way to combine or to get both is to do some sort of a deep squat, whether it's a leg press deep, whether it's a hack squat. If you use a Cybex squat press or a pendulum squat, it doesn't weight you. It doesn't, the tension and the mechanical tension is not as great in the deep portion. So you're not getting as much adductor, getting more quad focus, because the weight is greatest when you are at full extension. So a linear leg press or a linear hack squat or a Smith machine squat or a barbell squat is going to get more adductor work on the posterior. And then you add in the adductor machine, which is going to get more of the anterior portions of the adductor. And that's a great way to balance it out. So the deeper you go in those hack squats, if you're doing more Tom Platz method, you're not getting as much adductors because You're bringing your feet down, so you're not getting as much of that hip flexion. Not as much than if you bring your feet a little bit higher. So foot placement is going to matter for the adductor with the hack squat. Mike, love your shirts. Thank you. 20% off, papaswolio.com. Bad Luck Bryce, any tips for elbow tendon strengthening? Always get pain doing tricep exercises, even with good form. Elbow tendon strengthening. Collagen's important. Swinging a club is great for your elbow tendon. It could just be your form. It could be the way you're loading. Maybe it's a recovery or your volume. You might be doing too much or too many redundant exercises. There's a lot of people that will do a push day and they'll do 5, 6, 7 sets for chest when they're doing triceps. When you're doing a press, you're working your triceps. You're getting, in a pressing movement, you're getting the medial and the short head of your triceps. So people do chest pressing, then shoulder pressing, and then they'll get to triceps when the triceps are already beaten to ground. And then they're going to do forceful triceps extensions. So you have to keep in mind how much redundancy you're doing for certain muscles. So it might benefit you instead for doing so much chest pressing. Maybe if you're doing that kind of a split, do some pec fly, do a cable press, or do more of a neutral chest press where it might not be as taxing for the triceps, or do a pec deck and then throw in your triceps, or train your triceps first before doing pec deck or something like that if you're prioritizing. Just keep in mind that a lot of people do very redundant exercises in too much volume, and then by the time they get to their triceps, they're already fatigued and overworked, and then you're trying to hit them hard and they're already compromised. A Therabar is great too, so it really depends on, if he's talking about elbow pain, that might be the triceps insertion. It might not be medial or lateral epicondylitis. Alex on YouTube, Papa Swolio, I heard something from X about pasteurized milk being adulterated with canola oil, polysorbate 80, and some other stuff to carry vitamins. Do you know anything about that? It's possible. I wouldn't be surprised. I'm not really too familiar with it, but I don't drink pasteurized milk, so there's that too. Yeah, don't drink that stuff. Gooner, I just put something in my mouth. Should it be there? Considering your name, probably. Put it in deeper. Let's see. Shan, Papa Swolio dropped 350 pounds to 300 since December. Lifting daily, eating 15. Any peptide suggestions? No. I'm not a fan of Ozempic or any GLP-1s. I think people should be improving their health with actual lifestyle habits. I think those are very dangerous and very compromising. So I'd be very careful with that. And I'm not a fan of those, especially long term. But get on a quality strength training program. Nutrition's paramount. Sleep, sunlight. That's where we start here. Papa Swolio, any good creatine suggestions? Take a quality micronized creatine. Simple. You don't need anything fancy. I take 5 to 10 grams a day. So best of wishes with you and your creatine. Creatine's great. Last chance for questions. Drop in the comments down below. Hashtag Ask Papa Swolio. Moonstone, Papa Swolio, I'm on creatine. Do you suggest cycling it? It's not necessary to cycle creatine. It's not a steroid. It's not anabolic. Alicia, does lifting weights for children stunt growth or a myth? Well, it's a myth on a large scale, but I guess it can stunt growth if you damage the growth plate, but you have to do a lot of traumatic overload for that to happen. If you have a 7 or 8 year old and they're lifting a little bit weights in the gym and they're kind of having fun, You could teach good form. You could teach good form. You just don't want to, you're not pushing them with 3 sets of 8 to failure, push, and doing tons of focused bodybuilding volume. Kids are meant to lift things and climb things. You want to really make sure that they're doing moves on a macro scale. They could do deep squats. They could pick up heavy sandbags and fuck around. So you could still teach kids proper form. You just don't have to push them for a hypertrophy program when they're 10 years old because they're not going to be building crazy muscle anyway. But you could teach them good form. Nothing wrong with that. Big Baz, what's your favorite all-time shirt you sell? I don't have favorites. Too many awesome shirts. Too many awesome shirts. I don't have a favorite. There's too many. I get asked that question a lot. I don't have a favorite. There's so many. They're all my favorites. Get kids climbing trees. A rope is great. If you have a squat rack at home or you have a tree outside, just put a rope on it. And the kids are going to love swinging and climbing the rope. That's great. Works every muscle in their upper body. You know, sandbags, have them throw things like a weighted medicine ball, have them throw it. Kids love to throw things and push things and pull things, right? A sled. You could have a sled that they strap on and they like try to pull the weight. They're not going to hurt themselves. They're going to love it. They're going to tire themselves out and they're going to do what mommy and daddy do. So it's great. Get them active. Get them active. Which roids do you suggest to use? I don't take any. I don't suggest you guys take any. Talk to your doctor. Let's see. Tiff on YouTube. Papa Swole, I'm thinking of completely leaving the legal field. I was thinking of becoming a personal trainer. Working out has saved my life and love it, but wanted opinions from someone who did it before. What opinions are you looking for? It's a business like any other. You're only making money when you're training people. So they're long days. When you're training, they're long days. 6 a.m. to 10 or 11, then there's a little break. Maybe you're training from 3 or 4 to 8 or 9 o'clock at night. Depends on what you're looking to supplement in terms of income or completely replace, but it's a business like any other. So it really depends on how you're training or if you have your own spot, if you're renting from the gym, if you're working for a gym. So it depends on if you're trying to supplement income or replace it completely. You're trading your time for money, like with most things. So you could definitely do stuff online and you can maybe, help more people and maximize your time. So it's a very involved, personal, one-on-one type approach, which is great. We need people that do it. And we need more quality personal trainers, that's for sure. That's usually how it works. People see a lot of great results and they want to share what they know. Please don't spam the chat, please. Dracula, how did you come up with your signature format video? What's my signature format video? I'm telling people to go to the fucking gym. I started doing it. Tiff says there's so many different options for training I didn't even realize. How do you mean? Well, in terms of a business, it's a business like anything else. So the idea that you're going to be a personal trainer and just have tons of clients, it's a luxury for most people. So it depends on what kind of context you're going to be training people. But one thing you learn when you're in the field, having a certification does not mean you know what you're talking about. So of course you have to be good with people, like being around people, want to help people, but understand that there's also the people that are going to hire a personal trainer. A lot of times they're not quote unquote motivated. They're not consistent, or they're not prioritizing it. They're not doing it themselves. Sure, there's some people that are really great clients, but again, there's good trainers, there's bad trainers, and there's good clients and bad clients. And there really is, you're seeing someone maybe twice a week, maybe 3 times a week. What are they doing outside the gym? Are they going to be consistent? Are they going to be doing what they should be doing outside? You guys know that it's a lot of what you do outside the gym as well. When they're with you in the gym, you might know that they're doing the right things, but then outside, are they doing it? So Cerny, well, that's a great question. Welcome to my life. And this is, I don't do one-on-one personal training at this point, and I probably will never do it again if I can help it. But I've already done a lot of that. Papa Swole, how hard was it to deal with people who don't put in the effort? Frustrating? Yeah. You become very jaded. You stop caring as much. Most people don't care. So I decided to take it all online because I got tired of dealing with people in person that just aren't going to put in the work. I felt like a glorified babysitter in many ways. That's just my honest opinion. I have to hand someone the weight and tell them what to do and spot them and, good, 2 more. It's like, come on. People should be doing this stuff on their own. I wanted to get my message across to more people, but that's just me. Personal trainers are valid and in many ways very helpful. But I think that would be my best advice for Tiff and for anyone else. You want to make sure, understand. And here's the thing, when you're a personal trainer, a lot of times it's not easy to get clients. So you tend to, especially at the beginning, you tend to take anyone. I'll work with anyone. You want to pay me? Sure, I'll train you. But there are some clients that suck and people that you don't look forward to. Oh, so-and-so's at 2:00. They're just like, so you need to make sure you screen your clients too. So if you have a good client, you have someone who wants to work hard and train hard and does what you say, that's great. A lot of times people are hiring a trainer because they don't know what to do and they don't do what people say and they don't get results. So they're thinking, hey, if I pay someone, I'll get results because I'm paying someone for it. But they have to do all the work still outside the gym and be consistent and put in the work. So it does matter if the client and you match. So what you can do is just filter out who you do and don't like to work with, but you're going to learn that with experience. Cathartic, Pompasolia, what's your cardio of choice? Recently fell in love with biking and debating on getting a Zwift set up to complement my weight loss training. I don't know what that is. My cardio of choice.
Because
Mama Swolio is my cardio of choice. Versa climber, sled, sauna, going for a walk. That's my cardio of choice. We don't have any hills. I mean, we got some hills in Florida. You got to find them. They're like artificial. But hill sprints, sprinting up a hill is fantastic. It's great on the knees and it's great work capacity. Fell in love with biking. I don't know what a Zwift setup is. I don't know what that is. I'm not generally a fan of biking just because it compounds poor posture. A lot of people have really tight hips, tight calves, poor posture with their upper body, and biking kind of compounds the poor sedentary posture. So if you're doing yoga and you're balancing that out, it can be fine, I'm sure. But a lot of people sit down a lot and they go and they bike, and it just compounds poor postural patterns for many people. So you have to keep that in mind. Positive Charisma on Rumble. Thanks for the questions, people. Appreciate the follow-ups. Everything's moving smooth. Yesterday was a little bumpy, but I made some adjustments. And by the way, I did contact the company. And they're like, send us some screenshots. I'm like, I'm not getting alert. There's no screenshots to send. The update was garbage. And like, if everything's choppy, how do you take a screenshot of choppy shit? And then there was some box that I unchecked, and they're like, well, you probably should keep that box checked. I'm like, well, how come when I uncheck the box, the problem goes away? So I'll figure it out myself. PK, follow up to Cerny. Were there ever people who started not wanting to put in the work / effort and you were able to help them break through to see them succeed? Started not wanting to put in the work. I don't really know. I mean, people are there signing up for personal training, so I guess that's enough of that first step to put in the work if they're signing up for it. But usually, and this is the thing, personal training or weightlifting and making progress is a slow progress. It's slow. And you guys know this. The problem with personal, and I wouldn't say the problem with personal training, but one of the issues is that building muscle is repetitive. It's the same thing over and over again with very little changes. But the problem is personal trainers try to make it exciting and novel and something where they're required. So they do a lot of exercises that require a personal trainer to justify the person continuing to pay them. and they have to make it exciting and do these fancy exercises and bring out the Bosu ball and the stabilizer, and they're wobbling around and they're doing random shit because they tend to want their client to be like, wow, what a hard workout. I feel exhausted. This was really worth it. When in reality, they get better results by doing more monotonous type training, specific progressive overload, but more people will probably not find the value as much from that, even though they get better results. So you have to really communicate what gets people great results. And unfortunately, a lot of trainers or group exercise classes just try to make it something where you get that instant gratification of fatigue and that feel, that sensation of being exhausted, that sensation of feeling like I got a great workout. So the person comes back and continues to pay. And you end up doing a lot of novelty, silly shit. You see a lot of trainers. I'm sure a lot of you guys at the gym, you see trainers doing weird shit, right? Drop in the comments. You probably see people doing weird shit all the time. Well, weird shit might be like, wow, my trainer does all this crazy stuff and it's really challenging. Sure, but just because something's challenging doesn't mean it's a worthwhile pursuit. There are a lot of things that are challenging that's just a waste of time. So it might be hard, but it doesn't mean that it's worthwhile to achieve. What results do you want? I'm not sure what you mean. Alex, Papa Swole, does lining up your hair, like having it faded at the bottom, make it look cleaner? I just need some advice for growing my hair out longer. What do you mean? Like how I have a little bit buzzed under? This is preference. Because I like to have it up and it's hot as hell, so having a little bit of an undercut kind of makes it a little bit less hot and sweaty, I suppose. I haven't gone like all the way up on the sides like the Ragnar cut, which is cool. I'd like to do that. That's cool. But at the same time, I like the long hair. So Mama Solio is the expert. I'll let her be the judge of that. She likes my long hair. She like it. Lisa says, as someone who paid for a trainer, I agree. So you agree that trainers do a lot of silly, ridiculous shit? Did your trainer have you do all sorts of nonsense? LET says, I go to Planet Fitness. I always see people doing goofy shit. Pam says, oh, everyone's saying the app is amazing. The Swolenormous app. Thank you. Thank you, fam. Appreciate you. If you're watching on TikTok, download the Swolenormous app and join the fam. And let me train you. Papa will train you in the Swolenormous app. Pam says, I work out with my son, seen some weird ass shit. Mark says, saw a trainer gently bounce a ball on his client's back and sides while she was stretching. Couldn't figure out why he was doing it. Whoa. Pam says, it really depends on the gym I'm at that day. Planet Fitness can be crazy. Bodybuilding gym, not so much crazy. Because people are putting in the work. Look, if you're doing Maximum Swole, you know it's not fluff and frills. You're doing 1, maybe 2 all-out sets. You're not doing random bullshit. You're doing specific training. This is what I always talk about. Having a program is everything. It's very simple to exhaust yourself. I can come up with any kind of creative random programming that's going to make someone tired. But the goal is not to be fatigued. The goal is not to be sore. I can make someone sore and tired. I can make someone feel like they got a great workout, but that's not the point. I'm trying to build muscle, and that's going to be repetitions, literally reps, and very simple, straightforward, structured programming. And it's not frills. It's not excitement. It's not, random shit. It's going to be the same thing pretty much every day. And that's what gets results. Swolenormous is the name of the app. You can click on papasolio.com. There's a link to the app over there as well on the website. You can find all the information. You can go to swolenormousx.com, or you can head on over to papasolio.com, check out merch, but also in the description, in the menu on papasolio.com, you'll see membership, you'll see the podcast links, just go to the menu and you'll see the links for all the other things too. Last chance for questions. Drop in the comments. Tiff says layers of paint. That's exactly right. If you're painting a wall, you don't lay it on thick and have it dripping down the wall. Have you ever seen paint that people just slapped on a thick coat and there's like run marks. It's really shiny and thick and the color doesn't really come through right. You're not supposed to put it on super thick. You're supposed to roll it on very thin layers, let it dry, do another layer. Depending on what color you're doing, there's always a depending factor, or the primer underneath so the color shines through or whatever properly. Thin layers, less likely to peel. You won't see any drips. It won't look thick and gross. Bad paint job is very obvious. Lisa says, all I do are simple reps now. After paying all that money before, I could have saved a lot of money. Well, you also learned. So it's not a waste. You learned and you gained perspective as to what to do and what not to do. And that's just everything that we do in life. So my opinions on personal training from my personal experience, what I like to do, who I am as a person, and what I've seen out there, these are just common themes. So you can be a personal trainer and avoid all those things, but a lot of it is communicating to people. And this is what I do every day. I communicate to people trying to explain how to get optimal results. So if you're front facing and you're explaining them how this is going to go, then they can commit. What I would recommend if you're doing personal training, if you're doing it privately, make sure you get paid up front. Don't do by the session. Never do per session because people are going to cancel. You need to have a set protocol. Maybe it's 24 hours in advance. They got to pay for 10 sessions or whatever up front. They don't last forever. You don't want, hey, if you buy 20 sessions, they are good for 5 years. No. You do it within a certain time period. You get X amount of sessions. You have to use them within 2 months or 60 days or whatever it is. And make sure you get paid up front. And if they cancel with, outside of that cancellation window, they get charged for the session. You run it like a business. Don't let people waste your time, and make sure that they commit. And they need to commit for a training package or for a month or there's different ways to do it. But everyone's a personal trainer. Or, I used to do personal training, this, that, and the other. Personal training has become like bartending and like real estate. Everyone's a real estate agent. Everyone, their mother and their aunt, everyone sells fucking real estate. Everyone's a personal trainer. Everyone's a bartender. So it's one of those. It doesn't mean you can't be a good real estate agent. Doesn't mean you can't be a good personal trainer. You can't be a high-level bartender. But we know these are just entry-level jobs that you can get a real estate license. Doesn't mean you sell a fucking house or have a business or know what you're doing. You can be a personal trainer, get certification, not know what you're doing. You can be a bartender and not know what you're doing. These are entry-level positions. So it's a business. It's a business like any other. And I'm not saying it's not valid. These are just some of the things that I see in personal training and things to think about. Personal training is very physical. The hours are long, but you can still, let's say you have another job or you're doing X, Y, and Z in your legal department or whatever, and you're training from 5 to 8 at night. Maybe it's supplemental. You only need a few clients. That's fine. Doesn't have to be something that you do full time. Could be something you just do on the side. Geocentric. What if the Earth had 100 continents instead of 7? Would it spark your interest? No. I couldn't give less of a shit about the tectonic plates of the Earth right now. That's a weird statement. I don't give a shit about the continents. Send the flood. Send the flood. We can use a couple less continents in this place. Bring on the climate change. Ooh, boogeyman. All right, are we ready to move into balls deep? Why are people so angry about it? Because we're trying to make gains. We don't care about landmass. We're trying to become continents, bro. I'm trying to become the next continent myself. Coming onto a fitness stream talking about fucking Earth, land. Get the fuck out of here. Hey man, what do I think about communism? I think communism is alive and well, and we should snuff it out and eliminate it. Communism is evil. We know that for a fact. Communism is synonymous with evil. Wait, what's going on with the Earth now? I can't keep up with it. No, the Earth is fine. The Earth is fine. The Earth is fine. Tiff is like, what's going on? Aww. Super volcano. Super volcano. You're fine. You're good. You're good. We're all fine. Mohammed, is capitalism the solution? You fucking tell me, bro. You fucking tell me. Yeah. Goddamn right. It's definitely part of the solution. Hell yeah. Property rights like a motherfucker. Property rights and progress. Let's go. Just download the app. Enjoy. Enjoy. Swolenormous app. If you download the app, you could start a 7-day trial. So join us. I'm sorry to hear that. Ellie says my best trainer died. Damn. So I'm my own trainer now. Thankfully, I learned a lot from him. Hashtag get swole. Well, I'm sorry to hear that, but I'm glad that he passed along the gains to you as well. Mohammed, what about a mixture of capitalism and communism? What about no? Why don't you like property rights? Why do you want to steal other people's property? Why you want to take my things, dude? Why are you trying to take my shit, son? All right. Ready to move on? Let's go balls deep. If you're watching on TikTok, come on over on Rumble and YouTube to catch the rest of the show. Thanks for being here. 20% off papaswolio.com. Come watch the rest of the show. Let's get into some shit. Guy's trying to get me into Sharia law or some shit. These are people that just do what, like Ramadan, they're fasting. They're just hungry. They're just hungry. They're just hungry. I don't eat all day. Yeah, you're hungry. This is the problem with well, let's continue.
Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. That's deep.
It's a problem with the Democrats. Too many vegans. They're just hungry. I'd be protesting outside a Tesla dealership if I never ate food. Wouldn't you be cranky? I'm telling you, Democrats are just hangry. These are people that are eating Beyond Meat and salads all day. They need a fucking steak and they need to go to the gym. They're outside like, my body, my choice. It's like, just eat a fucking steak. Have some sex. Calm down. No one wants to bang you anyway. You don't need to get any abortions. Who's plowing that cave troll? Jesus Christ. They're just hangry. They're hungry. If I was hungry, I would say a lot of stupid shit too. I would say a lot of stupid shit if I was hangry. You know those shirts, right? I'm sorry for what I said when I was hungry. Hashtag Democrat Party. They're just hungry. They're hungry. I don't blame them. They're just hungry. All right, let's get into some stories. All right, let's see what we got here. I think we did this a while ago. Do you guys remember? Man, when was it? Within the last year? Do you guys remember when I looked up that Glenn Beck video about the slippery slope, about gay marriage leading to pedophilia? Do you guys remember that? Remember I looked it up on Facebook or something? We did it on the show a while ago. I have it saved somewhere. It was a great presentation by Glenn Beck. It was on one of his... It's an old video, but I had pulled it up. Do you guys remember that one? Here's another image of it, and it reminded me of that. So here's a good visual. So the title, if you're just listening, it says A Slippery Slope, and it's all the memes and like the rage, cringe, gross pictures, whatever. So the slippery slope. So first you have gay marriage. Let us get married. Well, that's not a big deal, right? That's okay. Let's get married. Then it's bake our cake. If you guys remember, there was a whole hubbub about a bakery that didn't want to make a gay cake or whatever it was. You guys remember that shit? I forget when that was. Was it 2010 sometime? I forget. And then it's use our pronouns. If you don't say our pronouns, you don't call me a Zir or Xerxes, then you're a bigot. Then it's allow minors to dance for us in drag. And then it's let teachers choose your kid's gender. And then it's normalize pedophilia. So this is textbook. This is slippery slope. This is Marxism. This is literally the deconstructionist approach. It always starts innocent enough, and it's like that little wedge. It's that little crack in the foundation, and then the lunatics continue to spread. It's a virus. That's literally what it is. So it goes from there. It starts like, hey, we're just love is love, right? Love is love. And all that's doing, it's leading towards, hey, there's no age limit, right? There's no love is love. Love is love. You can't, there's no age on love, blah, blah, blah. So it just leads towards pedophilia. And we know that. We know that. We see that they're trying to normalize pedophilia constantly. So pretty gross, very accurate. Share this with your friends. It's dead on. All right. This I shared because I'm very excited. And this post says, the best fruit in the world is going to be in season very, very soon. I'm excited. Aww. Mango tree is fruiting this year. It took last year off. Fruits everywhere. They're big. They're looking juicy. I cannot wait for them to be ripe probably in the next like 2 or 3 months. I'm very excited about mango season. Mango Man is back. I cannot wait. And I'm going to be mainlining mangoes for at least a few weeks. It's bulking season. I cannot wait for mango season. I cannot wait. I cannot wait. Okay, you ready for some real gross shit? Ready for some real gross shit? Check this out from Carrie Kelly. For those of you who are too lazy to make your own super sugary cereal milk the old-fashioned way, you can now buy it pre-made. Jesus Christ.
Matt Damon.
Don't worry about the carrageenan or the 40 grams of carbs from all the sugar because it's low fat. Oh, look at this. Nestle Sensations, Kellogg's Fruit Loops, cereal flavored milk. Cereal flavored milk. So now you're not even putting milk in this chemical trash. They're just mixing it all up for you. So now it can just taste like cereal. That's disgusting. You give this to your kids, that's child abuse. This is garbage parenting. There's no excuse to give this to your kids. That's fucking disgusting. Absolutely vile and disgusting. Disgusting. All right, we got 2 more things. This is a video about ranch dressing. Let's watch this video. I don't think did I watch this earlier?
Do you know what's really?
All right, I'm going to turn this down a little bit. Let's watch this video. Scroll it up a little bit. Yeah. Zoom it in. All right, let's do this. It's about ranch dressing.
Do you know what's really in this ranch dressing you use all the time? Hidden Valley Ranch is the #1 selling ranch in the US, but what is actually in it? Let's find out. The first ingredient and a good portion of the bottle is vegetable oil in the form of soybean and or canola oil. Next up, water.
Hold on.
24 grams
Hold on.
of added sugar.
Hold on. Watch him pour that. He's actually mixing up the ingredients. Look how much vegetable oil he pours into it. He's doing this by volume. This is how it's made. You ready?
Actually in it. Let's find out. The
Look
first
at this.
ingredient and a good portion of the bottle is vegetable oil in the form of
Look at this. It's like 3/4 of the way filled. That's soybean oil. Look at that shit. Hold it. That's canola oil. Look at that. Look at it. Look at it. Oh, but it's white. Oh, but it's white. Look at that shit. Let's continue.
and or canola oil. Next up, water, 24 grams of added sugar.
Bro, 24 grams of fucking sugar added to that. You wonder why you have diabetes. Wonder no more.
Salt, buttermilk, natural flavors, spices, monosodium glutamate, also known as MSG, garlic, onion, vinegar, phosphoric acid, xanthan gum, disodium phosphate to prevent water and oil separation, sorbic acid, a preservative that prevents mold and extends shelf life, calcium disodium EDTA, a preservative that prevents spoilage, disodium inosinate, and disodium guanylate, flavor enhancers often used in conjunction with MSG. So there you have it, all 17 ingredients in Hidden Valley Ranch. What sticks out to me the most though is that the #1 ingredient on what's supposed to be a buttermilk-based dressing is vegetable oil. This is not the innocent farmhouse style dressing that I thought it was as a kid. If I were to rename this what it actually is, I'd probably call it vegetable oil syrup with extra additives and a hint of buttermilk. Eat up.
Okay. No, but it's not the seed oils. No, it's not the vegetable oils. That's not killing people. No, that's good to eat. You could put that on anything. Put that all over your broccoli. Yeah, it's disgusting. You wonder why there's autism and diabetes and heart disease and cancer running rampant. Sure, it's the additives and the vaccines and all this other stuff we inject and GLP-1s and all the crap we waste our body away with instead of actually eating quality food, getting sunlight and getting sleep. It's always people just want to take their pills and then eat garbage. So it's fucking disgusting. It's so gross. You can't convince me otherwise. It's nasty. Enjoy eating that. Enjoy. Salads are a waste of time. Salads are just stomach fillers. You know what salads are? I look at salads the same way as packing peanuts. So you get something that's fragile in the mail and there's all that filler and bubble wrap. That's pretty much what a salad is. And why do people put ranch dressing all over a salad? Because it's inedible. You're eating leaves. So you want to put fat all over it, but then you're putting polyunsaturated fats. You're not going to put butter on a salad, but you should. You're not going to put tallow on a salad, but you should if you want to make it edible. People have to put something on it so it tastes somewhat good. So they put salt and fat on it, but it's the wrong kind of salt and fat. Gross. All right, let's share this. We have Ellen Page, who wants to be a man who destroyed her body, and we are going to watch this video. Tim Pool shared this, says, "This is not a man. It is not how men act. It is not how men feel. This is a woman acting like a woman and crying because she hated her breasts." Let's take a look.
Goodness, what has brought me the most joy? The most joy. It's, getting out of the shower and the towel's around your waist and you're looking at yourself in the mirror and you're just like, there I am. I'm not having all these little moments that used to be just being in a t-shirt.
What? Jesus Christ.
It's being able to touch my chest and
Holy shit.
feel comfortable in my body for probably the first time. Tears of joy. Good.
Holy shit. That's not funny. That's sad. Jesus Christ. That makes me feel sick. She's crying because she mutilated her body. And she's pretending like she has joy because she gets to wrap a towel around her waist. She mutilated herself and she can't go back. That's so depressing. That's really sad. I feel for Ellen. I hope she finds some sort of peace. And the problem is you have this woke ass media and Hollyweird celebrating it. No, this is a woman who has a mental illness that mutilated her body and she's being celebrated for it. But she hates herself. That's why she mutilated her body. It's some sort of like internal turmoil. It's really sad. Just very disturbing. Not someone for your kids to look up to or, well. All right. So yesterday we got a lot of videos. Jesus Christ. We got a lot of videos. Let's fucking blast a few of these. Pick a number 1 through 6. I'm not saying we'll do all of them, but let's do a couple of videos. Pick a number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. Scary. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. Martial arts mama, LET, and Pam, all 5s across the board. Let's go 5. Toddler suspended from nursery. Oh, I think I saw this story. Let's check this out.
Toddler was suspended from
a toddler? Wait a tick, I gotta pause it for a second. A toddler? You don't say. Hey, we got a toddler over here. A toddler? A toddler? Right. Let's do it again. I love accents.
A toddler?
A toddler? I gotta pause it for a second again. I can't get past the toddler. You hear that, boyo? It's a toddler. We got a toddler over here. A toddler. Right, let's try it again. I might stop it again.
A toddler was suspended from a nursery after...
I have to. A toddler? A toddler was suspended from a nursery? A toddler? Okay, I think I'm good. Got it out.
A toddler was suspended from a nursery after they were accused of being transphobic.
Accused? A toddler was accused? You don't say. A toddler? A toddler? A toddler was accused? Let's do it again.
After they were accused...
A toddler was accused? This guy's got it going on. I like it.
After they were accused of being transphobic or homophobic. I just cannot believe this. The Department of Education data revealed the child is either 3 or 4 years old. AD of E, a Department of Education spokesman, said all pupils and staff should feel safe. I can't believe I'm reading this. Should feel safe and protected at school and should never face violence or abuse. The Education Secretary has been clear that she expects school leaders to enforce good behaviour, and we are committed to a comprehensive programme of behaviour to support all schools.
All right, I like this guy because he's like, what the fuck am I reading? I was making fun of the accent a little bit. He's making fun of what he's reading. He's like, I can't believe I'm reading this. Yeah, I can't believe it either. A toddler? Did you know that a toddler was being accused of being transphobic? Blimey, a toddler? Right, a toddler. You don't say. I do say. Well, you shouldn't say. All right, I won't. A toddler was being accused? A toddler? A toddler was being accused? I want to know what the toddler said. I want to hear it. The toddler probably said, you're a man, dude. You're taking out... The guy was probably taking out his dick and shaking in front of the kid. And the kid's like, you have a pee-pee. You can't call my pee-pee a pee-pee. Hey, what's this bloke talking about over here? He's wearing a dress. Hey, Mom, look at this bloke wearing a dress. That toddler's transphobic. He is. Oh, what of it? Oh, the toddler's being a racist. Get that toddler out of here. Get that toddler out of here. A toddler being accused. All right, let's do another one. Trans people, not the reason. Probably are the reason.
At the end of the day, trans people are less than 1% of the population, and trans people are not the reason you can't afford eggs. We're not the reason that you can't afford health care. We're not the reason that you
Oh, the fucking View. God, these stupid cunts.
buy a house or your rent's too high. Yeah. I think they're focused on the wrong 1%. Ooh. I think the other 1% is the reason for all those things.
Oh, yeah, communism. The billionaires. Oh, it's the people with money that are the problem. No, it's all your mental retardation. That helps. And illegal immigrants. So we're getting them out, but you guys don't like that either, right? Trump's a Nazi.
I'm not going anywhere. I have a TV show on Prime Video, honey. I can't go anywhere.
You're not a woman. You're not a woman. I'm not going anywhere, honey. Yo, the women on The View, look, I'm telling you, women hate women. Women hate women. You have these women, or quote unquote, on The View, that are literally platforming a man pretending to be a woman. They hate women, and they don't care if you know it. But all the women that watch The View are too retarded to realize that they're just shitting on them. Gross people. Whoopi looks like if vegetable oil was a person. All right, the reason you defend gender binary,
What's in the
it's got to be because I'm a bigot, not because biology is fundamental in life. I defend gender binary. It's got to be because I'm a bad person. I'm assuming it's because I'm bad. All right, struggle session coming up.
The reason people defend the
look at this fucking thing.
What the fuck is
What
that?
the fuck is that? Come on, fam. This person's about to lecture us on why we defend gender binary. Like I have to defend it. I don't know. Just do some science. You know? Take a look. Take a look. Rufus doesn't have a ball sack. He's still a dog. He's still a male dog. So this person's going to lecture all of us on how to be proper in society. This man dressed like a fucking queen.
The reason people defend the gender binary so ferociously, attempt to ban books about gender literacy.
No such thing as gender literacy. That's a made-up construct. That's for fucking sure.
Disappear gender non-conforming people from public.
Mental illness. We're not disappearing anyone. You're just mentally insane. We used to have a place for mentally insane people. They're called asylums. Bring them back. I'm waiting for Trump to bring back asylums. All the people that want to live on the streets, all the people that don't want to play by society's rules, they can live at a resort in the middle of nowhere, and there's no drugs, there's no TV, no cell phones, just sunlight, exercise, swimming, right? It could be a little bit of a resort, but it'll get people at least to a higher baseline of health. All right, whatever.
Life is because they don't want to confront their lovelessness. That awareness that they've never been allowed to be free. It's easier to romanticize the unfreedom, decorate and accessorize it.
Unfreedom.
Mistake dissociation as an identity and a virtue. Wear it like a badge or a family heirloom.
Again, right? You're the problem. You're the bigot. Don't believe your lying eyes. Like, just do as we say. You're the one that doesn't know what you're talking about. These fucking lunatic cross-dressers, they know what they're talking about. They found the key. Jesus Christ, look at this fucking freak.
So many would rather die than give it up. And all this pain, it shows up as resentment and retribution against gender nonconforming people. How dare you make freedom real?
What? What?
How dare you make heaven on earth?
What?
I thought we had to wait for joy.
What?
I thought that wasn't possible. People are made to destroy their own creativity, their own simultaneity.
You mean the Department of Education? You mean the indoctrination systems / public schools? You mean that?
Own gender nonconformity in order to receive love from their families and societies. If they don't see gender nonconforming people, then they don't have to see the parts of themselves that they had to cut out in order to be loved.
I have to cut this out in order to be loved? No, I'm just not mentally insane. I don't need to wear dangly earrings and have this butch ass, I don't know. Your head looks like one of those little icing flowers that you put on a cake, right? It looks like one of those little things that squeeze out of the squeeze bottle when you're decorating a cake. I cannot take anything you say seriously because of your face. Your face is a disgrace.
If they don't see us, then they don't have to see their own pain.
So if I don't have to see you, I don't have to see my own pain. So looking at you is seeing my own pain. I mean, I'm definitely in pain looking at your face. Looking at you, I do not see my own pain, bro. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not in pain. I'm totally fine not being like you. Jesus Christ.
Their grief is so calcified.
Calcified grief. Calcified grief. Good word. Calcified grief. I'm very excited about today's episode.
It takes the form of anger.
I'm not the angry one. You guys are the ones that are burning down the fucking world and assaulting kids. Continue. Oh, that's it? Okie dokie. All right. Pedo's gonna pedo, right?
Emotional damage.
All right. Leave that look in the 80s. My God. Good Lord. Let's do this one. This one's called I Look Fat. I agree. Let's check it out.
Objectively, I look fat in this, I look fat in this, and
Yep.
I look fat in this.
Yep.
And also, I look good, I look happy, and I look like myself. Fat is look like myself. Fat is not a synonym for ugly. Fat is not a synonym for unhealthy. It's not the same as bad, wrong, or less than. Fat
It is unhealthy. So it is unhealthy.
is just fat, a body descriptor. Like tall, short, muscular. That's it. So that's
No, fat is not the same as muscular. I mean, you can choose to be muscular, but fat is definitely unhealthy. It's definitely more synonymous with lazy and apathy and poor habits. 1,000%.
I'm asking, can we please retire the phrase, I look so fat in this? Because when most people say that, they don't actually mean I look fat. They mean
They definitely mean you look fat. They definitely mean you look fat. That's exactly what it means. Let's continue.
I don't like how I look. And instead of saying that, they use fat like a placeholder for shame. But when you use the word fat to mean unworthy or ugly, your fat friends hear that. And whether
If you feel unworthy, that's a you problem. You're fat. Objectively. And if you're not happy with that, well, rather than delude yourself into being like, I'm virtuous because this is the way I am, why don't you take care of yourself? Oh, if you took care of yourself, you wouldn't have this kind of weakness to leverage. You're trying to get sympathy points and we don't care.
you realize it or not, it hurts. So when people casually say, oh, I look so fat, you might be talking about yourself, but you're probably forgetting who's in the room. And you're
Yeah, if there's a pussy in the room, they can leave. I wouldn't be friends with that pussy ass person.
essentially saying that looking like me, a fat person, is a bad thing. And if fat is
based,
I don't believe you people.
it's not a good thing. It's not a good thing. You want to be improving your health. We can help you inside Swole Enormous X, so come be unfat today.
the worst thing that you can call yourself, what are you really saying about the people who look like me? We have the vocabulary. You can say, this outfit doesn't look good, this cut isn't flattering, or maybe that you're just having a bad body image day. All of that is totally valid, but stop calling yourself fat when what you really mean is that you don't like how you look.
Because you look fat. No one likes to look fat on an evolutionary level. We don't want to look morbidly obese because it's not healthy. No one wants to look like that. There's a reason.
Maybe you're having a hard day in your body, but I live in this body every single day and I
Yeah, I know. And you're making videos about it.
deserve to feel good in it.
And I deserve to feel good in it. You don't deserve shit. Again, you don't deserve anything. Right? I deserve. Your safe spaces are make-believe. Keep telling yourself that, then you go out in the real world and realize, oh shit, life exists. So tell yourself whatever you want in your little bubble. You're fat. I'm not saying that to be mean. You're just fat. You are fat. You are fat. I do not want to look like you. I don't want to look like you. I'm fine saying that. It's not fat phobic. I don't want to look like that. I don't want to be 500 pounds and roll down the street. I don't want to. For good reason. I want to be healthy. I live in this body. Yeah, no shit. Move. Move out. Your lease is up. Time to make some gains. Oh, is this a glasses one? This is called All Frames Equal. Are we going to talk about glasses?
What's in the box?
Glass frames? Yeah, all frames are equal. Not true. Those are horrible. Let me see.
Me and my mother was just having a conversation, and y'all know I be screaming this to the rooftops.
Someone translate.
I believe fat phobia has made it in some people's minds that all frames are created equal.
I thought she was talking about her glasses, because my fucking God, they don't fit your face. They would only fit someone who's like 700 pounds. That have big frames.
And that's not the case. Like, every frame shouldn't be thin, or
What?
it's made to be thin. Okay, I'm all for like getting healthy and feeling good in your body, but that doesn't always equate to being skinny. It shouldn't. And you know, I done said this before, and I can say this because I too have a big ass head. The big head girlies, the Rottweiler head girlies, please.
The what? The Rottweiler head girlies? These people are so fat. Their heads are fat. You do realize your face gets fat too, right? Jesus Christ.
Please.
Are you Xanax is a hell of a drug. Those Rottweiler head girlies? Yeah, if you look like a Rottweiler, goddamn. Good damn. All right, we got one more. It's 15 seconds. I guess we are doing them all today.
What's in the box?
Yesterday was a short episode because we had technical difficulties. So this is called Friendly Reminder. I can't wait to be reminded.
Friendly reminder, as a white American woman, yeah, I will no longer be dating white men. I'm looking for anything other than a white man. Okay? Just a heads up.
My God, you are way past your prime. You're way past finding a man. So Mark, we got one. Mark's what do we call you, Mark? Cinnamon? You're not white, Mark. What are you like? Mark's like a cinnamon, right? Mark's a cinnamon. We got a Mark. Mark or Aaron? You're taking this one for the team. Mark's got the skills. Mark's been turning these left and right. Jesus Christ! Look at that fucking face.
The eyes, Chico. They never lie.
Shut up, bitch!
All right, fam. Let's give away today's Swole card. Thanks for being here. Appreciate you. Glad you had a good time. Hashtag Get Swole for a chance to win today's Swole card. Let's give it away on the Room Blay. Here we go. Get Swole. Jesus Christ. Mark's got this one. Mark's going in. Tiff says girl's about to have a date with Jesus. The fuck? I see Jesus. I see Jesus. Hashtag Get Swole. Scroll, scroll, scroll. Scroll, Get Swole. All right, we got a winner today. It is Mess 41. Congratulations. Hey-o. Make that big. Look at you. Congratulations. Send us an email to support@swolenormous.com. Swole card 3252 in the subject, your mailing address in the body, the email. Fam, thanks for being here. Appreciate you. Reminder to go and check out all those new drops over there at papasolio.com, 20% off. Let's check this out. If you're ready to join the Swole fam today, let's load up. Talk about it for a hot minute. Fam, you get access to everything inside Swole Enormous X. We have new merch. You can see right there. We got Swole White and the 7 Steaks. Brand new Creative Flow, Level 2 Creative Flow Express with Alex. We have new recipes, pineapple guac. We got rack of lamb and sweet potato and spinach egg muffins. And of course, we have the round table from last week. Master classes and new Maximum Swole training splits from last week. Curl bears. We got all sorts of awesome stuff in the new releases. Plus, we have featured classes this week. Morning Flow Express. We have Swollen 7 Mobility Round 12, as well as Lower Expansion number 1. Go and check out all the amazing things we have to offer inside the Swole Enormous app. Look at all the nutrition. We got all the programs here. We got all the master classes. Everything is all available now inside the Swole Enormous app. So get your Swole on with the Swole fam. Join us, swolenormousx.com. Thanks for being here. We'll see you tomorrow. Peace, McGee's, Deuce, Magoose, your boy, Papa Swolio. Out.
Crazy flow, need a straight jacket. Cash flow, I'm a bank addict. 6 subs, had the bass smacking. 808, had the place clapping. 3 girls is enough for me, so I pull out like the stock crashing. Like an IPO, trying to purchase me. This a private sector, so you can't have it. Faking all that boom bapping. Who you think you is, boy? 90s want they sound back, so I give rap all these fake rappers as I take matters in my own hands. I don't need rapping, I don't need Zans. I don't need help, I'm a grown man. Now the king left and they so mad, it's like
Then yeah, I found that young king with my crown at 10 racks in the fanny pack, couple hundred in the Louis bag.
That's a bed that you made. That's a bed that you made. That's a bed that you laid. That's a bed that you laid. What kind of game is you playing? We go hard in the paint. We go hard in the paint. What the fuck is you saying? I only go where they pay. What kind of game is you playing? Yeah, whoa, my shit is relevant. Our topic, my melanin is popping. I'm taking